Hi there, I'm Stan, the Annuity Man, and you are on YouTube Live, the Annuity Man version of YouTube Live. Welcome. I appreciate you joining us. Get your questions ready. We are going to go through a lot of stuff today. I was thinking as we were coming on, I was talking to my team that's in the background running the show and making me look fantastic. That, this is my version of the bad chicken dinner seminar, the bad steak dinner seminar. By the way, if you get those invitations, go swallow the food, not the pitch. But I'm thinking to myself, producer, CEO in the background, we should call Chick-fil-A and have them sponsor this. And then whoever shows up, they get a coupon and they can go get a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I went and got one last night, got off the diet a little bit. Man, those things are good. So this should be sponsored by Chick-fil-A. Nod your head, everybody. Hey, I really appreciate you being here. One of the things we sent newsletters out to everybody today. If you're not on that list, please get on it. And one of the things that I'm very proud about is my Fun with Annuities podcast that comes out every Tuesday. And I had Moshe Milevsky on this week, which is, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the most well-respected financial brains in the world. And he's just a consultant for national pension plans and things like that with countries and United States. And he's just a monster. And he was on, if you ever listen to a podcast, that's one to listen to, because he was talking about what's going to happen in the annuity future, which was just fascinating. Before we get started with everything, get your questions going. Producer, let's go to the site, because we're talking today about MYGAs and SPIAs, multi-year guarantee annuities and single premium immediate annuities, and income strategies involving both. So the first thing, let's go to the MIGA fixed rate feed. If you go see that right there and you see C-Live rates, hit that. And you're going to have to put in your state of residence, because all of these are regulated, approved at the state level. But just for an example, Alabama puts up, that comes up, and then you can, look at all of the guaranteed interest rates right now. Right now in Alabama, it's 4.0. Go back up, producer, and just show them how to change the years. So if you say, what's a 5-year? You hit that box right there. And then there is the 5-year, and you click see rates, etc. Go to, let's just choose one. Go to Texas. Let's do Texas. So we're going to go back. We're going to pull down your state of residence. There's Texas, and let's see what a 3-year is in Texas. Let's just see that. Okay, 3-year in Texas. There you go. That's how you look up the MYGA rates. And MYGA is the annuity industry's version of a CD. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Do not get fancy with your analysis of a MYGA. It is you give the annuity company the money. They guarantee an interest rate for a specific period of time. That's pretty much it. My apologies, producer. Let's go backwards and let's show them, since we're talking about immediate annuities, let's go to the calculators. If you say, Stan, I want to run an immediate annuity calculator, numbers on me. There's your single premium immediate annuity calculator. And then we don't have to do this, producer. You just put in your information there and you're going to get a quote. Okay. So that's how to do that. And you can do either a lump sum, or you can reverse engineer and say, hey, I want to see how much it will take to create $2,000 a month for me and my life, or me and my spouse's life. So that's how to do SPIAs and MYGAs and look them up. And all of this stuff is live feed. All of this is directly connected to the carriers. I represent pretty much every carrier out there. So you're going to get and see pretty much the highest contractual guarantee out there. Now, after this show, if you want to go and look at more videos on MYGAs and SPIAs, producer, let's go to my Stan the Annuity Man YouTube channel, and let's show them how to find that. So this is the YouTube channel. And if you go to, say, videos, go to the video tab right there. Well, first of all, let me show them this real quick. Scroll down to the third line, producer, and you see the MYGA to SPIA strategies there in the middle. We're going to be talking about that. I've done a video on MYGA to SPIA income strategies. People love it. We're going to talk about that. But go to playlist if you don't mind as well. So if you go to playlist, okay, you can say, okay, Stan, I just want to watch the MYGA videos. And say, if you look to the bottom right there, there's all the MYGA videos I've done, or not all, but the majority. And if you go down there, there's the immediate annuity ones. So you can focus and really get some education. And if you haven't gotten my books, you can get those for free on my site at theannuityman.com. You can go to my site real quick, producer, show them the tab if they haven't gotten the books. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Up top, you can get the books. We'll ship them to you for free and under an obligation. And to the left, book a call. You can book a call, and Most of the time you're going to get me, not all the time. We got a really good team in place, but a good portion of the time you're going to get me. And we'll have a 30-minute conversation. Let's talk about MYGA to SPIA strategies. And I'm going to go over it briefly, get your questions going, period. MYGAs. So income strategy with MYGAs, it really comes down to this. It comes down to, Stan, I want to protect the principal and I just want to live off the interest. I don't want to pay any fees. I just want to peel off the interest and that's it. So if I have $500,000 and right now you can get 4% or more, then I want to get the 4% off the $500,000 and I never want to touch the $500,000. And then at the end of the duration, we can send the money back to you or we can roll it to another, hopefully higher yielding MYGA. That's income from MYGAs, okay? With immediate annuities, that's a different type of income. You are transferring the risk to the annuity company to pay you or you and your spouse, if it's joint life, for the rest of your lives, and life expectancy drives the income pricing. Interest rates play a secondary role in that pricing. So you are going to draw down on that principal, on that asset, the longer you live. If you outlive your life expectancy, there's a good possibility that there be no money in the account left for your heirs, but the annuity company is still on the hook to pay as long as you're breathing. If it's joint, as long as one of you are breathing. Okay, so it's a transfer risk, but two separate strategies to say, hey, I need lifetime income to start right now. That's an immediate annuity. Remember, I always ask two questions to everyone. What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? If you say, I need income and I need it to start now, that's an immediate annuity. Or I need income and I need it to start now. It could be a MYGA if you just want to peel off the interest. Now, the MYGA to SPIA strategy, which we pointed out in that video, that's been very popular. And I'm the only one out here talking about that because it's a very, 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 very low commission. Remember, commissions are built into the policy. You never see it. It's paid from the administrative cost of the annuity company. But the reason you never hear about MYGA to SPIA is that it's just really low commission, but it's pro-consumer. Let me explain how that works. If I ask you the two questions, what do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And you said, I need income, Stan. And the second answer is I need income to start later. Let's look at a 5-year deferral example. You can say, okay, I need income to start in 5 years. Now, there's 3 ways to do that. There's deferred income annuities, which is the immediate annuity, but deferred, same structure. And you buy it now, and you know what exactly to the penny what those contractual guaranteed lifetime income numbers will be in 5 years. The other way to do what I call income later is income riders, and income riders attached to indexed annuities, which provide higher contractual guarantees typically than variable annuities with income riders. So, and we don't sell variable annuities. We don't sell anything that has a potential to go down in value. So income riders, the second way to do it, income rider will tell you to the penny 5 years from now what that lifetime income stream will be. But at the time of this taping, right now, look at the time if you're watching this down the road, I believe MYGA to SPIA works better. Because let's just say you say, Stan, I need income in 5 years. Okay. All right, let's buy a 5-year MYGA. We know exactly what that interest is going to be. In a lot of states right now, you can get A+ rated paper at 4.2 or 4.25%. And so we know we're going to get that for the 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, if your plans have changed, we can send you the money back or roll it to another MYGA, or we can then shop all immediate annuity carriers for the highest contractual guarantee and then transfer non-taxable event, the MYGA to the SPIA. So, I mean, that to me is a very efficient and flexible way to do it because we're not trying to time anything. You're going to be older 5 years from now, so the immediate annuity quote is going to be better. And if interest rates, even though they play a secondary role, do move, then that in combination with your less life expectancy because you're older is going to produce a higher contractual guarantee. What else did I do? I stripped out all the fees. Like with an income rider, there's an annual fee for the life of the policy. Doesn't mean it's bad. But with interest rates at these levels now, I think it begs the question of why not look at a MYGA to SPIA strategy. So just put that in the back of your head. Watch that video because that is that's an important video for you to watch. The other thing I want to talk about as well is I recently did a Shooting It Straight with Stan video about you've won the game, so why are you still playing? It's hit a lot of people really hard because they're like, yeah, why am I still in the markets? Why am I still putting my money at risk? And I'm not putting down markets. You can do what you want to do. But there's a lot of you out there that could just buy MYGAs and live off the interest and never touch the principal. Now, for the last 10 years, you couldn't do that because interest rates weren't allowing you to do that. But now we're at the 4.5, pushing into the 5% level at the time of this taping. A lot of you can say, you know what? I don't have to lock up my money. I don't have to annuitize my money. I don't have to buy a packaged product that's going to draw down on the asset. I literally can peel off the interest. I was on a call yesterday with someone and just said, you've won the game. So let's not play anymore. Let's just peel off the interest. Here's the income you're going to get, and you're never going to touch the principal. Husband and wife literally couldn't believe it was that simple. It is. It really is that simple. So let's open it up for questions. I'm going to read the questions off slowly, I hope, in my Southernisms. I'm going to answer it. So here we go. Somebody put, let's see, Bob Yanovich. I like that. What direction are MIGA rates headed with interest rates rising? Very good question, Bob. Now, typically, I don't time interest rates. I just don't. You just can't. Because if you're trying to time them, you have to factor in the interest that you've lost while you're trying to be master of the universe interest rate guy or gal. But what I'm telling my clients right now is that we need to hold on any purchase until the Fed moves in July, unless you just like the guarantees that you've seen. A lot of people will call me up and say, I don't care what Powell does. I just want to lock in this in. And what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, a lot of carriers have preemptively raised their rates because I think they know what's coming, which is a rate raise, and they're trying to get ahead of everyone else. So the Fed's going to meet. I think that the annuity dust will settle like the week of the 20th or sooner maybe, but I'm saying the week of the 20th. And at that point in time, I do think that we can go lock in rates. Now, this is my opinion solely, but I think this is the last bullet in Powell's gun. I hope I'm absolutely incorrect about that. But I think after this raise, even the media are going to call what we're in a recession. And once that happens, then the pressure on Powell, even though they should be autonomous and not listen to anybody and just do what they've got to do, what's right from a macro and microeconomic standpoint, they're not going to do that. You know that. I think this is it. So I think after this one, I doubt if we'll see anything aggressive before the midterms. I think we all can agree on that. So this is probably the last interest rate raise, and I hope I'm wrong. I'll go on record right now hoping that I'm wrong, but let's wait and see what they do. And I think the week of the 20th of this month, at the time of this taping, we are in July, I think it's time to seriously look into locking in MIGA rates. Next question. Andy Donahue, I read that most MIGAs are RMD friendly. Let's just take this in two sections. Andy, that's true, most, but not all. And so if you're using IRA assets, and by the way, you can buy MIGAs and IRAs, Roth IRAs, non-IRAs. People say, well, why would you buy it in an IRA? Because it's already tax deferred. You're buying it for the contractual guaranteed coupon. That's why. But if you are using these assets and you're planning to take your required minimum distributions from them, just let us know. And we will attach you to the highest contractual guaranteed MIGA that is RMD friendly. Not all of them are, but most are. So the second part of that, does that mean you can withdraw the full RMD regardless of the amount without penalty? The answer is yes, with RMD friendly annuities. So yes. Next question. Tony Mulligan, best guess, are we going to bust 6%? You know, anyone who answers that, Tony, is either a fool or believes that their poop doesn't stink in the South, they say. Nobody knows. I think 6 is aggressive. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes there for all of you and for us as well. I mean, it'd be great for us, our customers, to get that. I think the next bogey to look at and hope for is that 5%, whether the 5% is on a 7-year or the 5% on a 5-year. I think the first we'll see it will be on the 7-year MIGA. Right now, the 7-year MIGA in most states, it's at 4.5. So I think we're pushing that. I think 6 is aggressive. But Tony, I hope you're right. And if you are, I'm going to give you all the credit, as I always do. Next question. What happens to the amount of your distribution on your SPIA if you move to another state? Nothing. Peter, good question. Let's just say you bought the immediate annuity and you're a resident of Florida, and then you move to Texas. Nothing changes with the guarantee. Nothing changes with the payout. Nothing changes to where it's going to hit unless you tell us the bank changed, and we'll help that for you. I have a team in place. The administrative team with the Annuity Man is fantastic. They can do everything for you. The only thing that changes is the state guarantee fund. The state guarantee fund, and we don't make any type of recommendations based on that, but that's the backing organization up to a specific premium limit that each state has. That will change. So if you bought it in Florida and moved to Texas, then the Texas State Guarantee Fund would apply to that asset, but nothing's going to change contractually with anything when you move. So good question. Thank you. Mariana Musso, love that name. Is a MYGA backed by State Guarantee Association? Yes. And that, I don't know if we can do this. Are we fancy enough to pull that up, producer? The site is NOLHGA.com. NOLHGA.com. And there it is, producer. Man, she is good. That's it. And so let's scroll down. I'm going to show you how to get there. So this is it. And if you go to the state association's box on the right-hand side, producer, those white boxes, and you click here, where it says here, then it's going to drop down all of those states. Let's pull one. Let's pull up Florida. Just go to Florida. And then this is where you find out how much is covered. All right. Go to the frequently asked questions box. And by the way, every single state has the FAQ box. And then go to either 6 or 7. I think one of those is going to answer. I think 7 answers it. There you go. So 7 are all policy fully protected. There you go. There it is right there. Okay. And each state is going to have a different, but that's it. NOLHGA.com. I hope that helped. And that will give you your specific state and your specific coverage, and they're not all the same. So there you go. Next question. Richard, MYGA not collecting monthly interest, can you later start collecting the interest? The answer is yes. And here's the question really is, in Southern speak, I bought the MYGA. I don't want to turn on interest now, but it has the provision in it to allow me to take out interest. Can I take it out in the future? The answer is yes, you can. Just contact our team and we will connect you. We'll get you the appropriate paperwork to sign off on. We'll get that to the carrier, to our people that work with us there, and then we will make sure that that interest hits whatever bank account you give us confidentially. By the way, when you go through the application process with us, we do have to ask a lot of questions that the carriers require us to ask. All of that information is confidential. We don't keep any of it. We don't sell it or share it or anything like that, but we do have to ask it because the carriers have to have that information to make sure it's suitable and appropriate. But that information goes to the carrier. We do not keep that. But you can change your mind. And let's just say let's go the reverse of that, Richard. Let's say you started and immediately started getting interest from it. And then down the road, you wanted to shut that off. We can do that. Okay. Next question. Good questions. Mary Ellen, how are you? So even if it's, say, a 5-year MYGA, peeling off the interest means I can pull out and utilize the interest the MYGA has earned any time during the first 5 years. Yes. Now, you can't. The answer is yes, but a lot of these policies, they're all different. So if it says on that MYGA feed, and maybe let's go back to that, producer. Let's go back to the MYGA feed. Let's show people how to read this, and it'll show you when or how much you can take out per year. So let's just pull up a state. Just do Alabama in 3 years. That's fine. Okay. So let's scroll down. All right. So let's look at the first one. You can't take out any of the first year, but the second year, you can take out 10% of the policy value without penalty. Go down to the third one. The third one says you can take 10% out year 1, year 2, and year 3. And then the fourth one, it says interest. You can only take out interest year 1 through year 3. Okay. Does that make sense for everybody? Nod your head virtually. That's how it works. And that's how those are the rules. And then you can check the multi-year guarantee annuity rate and then the liquidity provisions that make sense for your specific situation. And they're all different. Obviously, in a lot of cases, the companies that offer MYGAs that don't allow liquidity provisions, a lot of times those have the highest yields because they're not allowing you to touch the money. But not right now. Not right now. There's a lot of very good companies, very highly rated companies that with liquidity provisions that are at the top, which is fantastic and pro-consumer. One of the things I always tell people is, and they always ask me, what's your favorite MYGA? What's your favorite SPIA, Stan? I don't have one. We represent pretty much every carrier out there. My favorite one is the one that fits your situation. customized, to your specific situation, and offers the highest contractual guarantee, period. Now, once you choose one, if I feel like you don't need to put your money there from a claims payability standpoint, I will tell you that. The other thing too is, remember this: when I look at and do my analysis of these carriers from the standpoint of claims payability, yes, I'm looking at the ratings. Yes, I'm looking at Comdex. Yes, I'm looking at their internal financials. But with multi-year guarantee annuities, I'm looking at all of those things, just looking at the duration. We're not marrying them for life. We're marrying them for the duration. So if it's 3-year and I'm recommending it, and say it's a B double plus, then I'm recommending it for the 3-year duration. Completely different analysis with immediate annuities, because that's a lifetime income transfer risk guarantee. And in most cases, I'm looking at 80 or above on a Comdex score, A or A plus rated or better, A double plus in a lot of cases, because you're going to be there for life. So 2 different analysis that I do with MYGAs and SPIAs, but I'm when I put it in front of you, and if it's on the site, most of the time, if it's on the site, I've looked at the company and I've signed off on it. I think there's 1, maybe 2 companies right there that's making the MIGA feed that we're currently not recommending. I think maybe it's 1 now. So next question. Peter J, when purchasing a SPIA in the last 6 months of the year, does the insurance company, or do you help us determine the RMD for the first 6 months? No, actually, any tax questions should be answered solely by your CPA and your tax lawyer. And I'm not punting on that. I've been doing this for 3 decades, and I probably know more than most CPAs. No offense to CPAs. I just have been doing it. But legally, I cannot give tax advice. I just can't. I don't go there. We don't cross that line. That's a CPA question. And you need to be working with CPAs anyway when we're talking about RMDs and things like that. So not punting, just doing you a favor. Tony, are SPIA payout rates increasing in tandem? I'm glad you asked that, because I'm going to repeat what I just said earlier. Immediate annuity rates are primarily based on your life expectancy. I'm going to say it again, your life expectancy, with interest rates playing a secondary pricing role. Now, with that being said, if interest rates are drastically moving, you'll see it move the needle a little bit, but not a lot. Okay, so just don't get fixated on interest rates when you're buying immediate annuities. Okay, get fixated on your life expectancy. Here's the example, and we all know it. Social Security. Is the payment higher when you're 65 or 70? 70. Why? Because you're older, and you're going to have less projected payments because your life expectancy is less, which means the payments will be higher. It's the same analysis you have to have with the SPIA. So do not make the mistake going, well, I'm going to wait on interest rates to rise to buy my SPIA. Well, if you're going to do that, genius, you've got to look at the payments that you're missing while you're trying to be Gordon Gekko, right? So don't do that. Now, yes, if interest rates go to, I think Tony asked the 6%, great, that's fine. But if you're going to time that, Tony, then you got to factor in all the payments you missed when you didn't buy the SPIA. And that's not a sales pitch. That's just math. Next question. Shockwave Rider, like that. MIGA with a 10% per annual withdrawal post 59.5. Good question. Good point. And, you cannot take out money pre 59.5 without a 10% penalty from the IRS. So post 59.5, there's no 10% penalty. Can one do this monthly? Can one do this monthly, 10% to get somewhat steady income, or does it have to be 10% in one go? It doesn't have to be 10% in one go. Okay. If you said, I just want to take out the interest, you can do that. My staff will help you coordinate that and where the money's going to hit the bank. So you don't have to wait for the one time per year, the 10% provision. Let's just give an example. Let's just say you purchased a MIGA. It has a 10% liquidity withdrawal, but you don't want to touch the principal, and the interest rate guarantee is 4%. You can just peel off the 4%. Okay, hope that answers that question. On a SPIA, which is the best certain period? There is no, and if you ask this question to anyone, they answer it, they absolutely don't know what they're talking about. What he is talking about is a period certain. Now, you can do, period certain means that if you buy an immediate annuity, it can pay for 10 specific years or 5 specific years or 15 specific years if you want to do a gap fill type plan. Or you can say, I want a lifetime income stream with a 10-year certain. What does that mean? It's going to pay you as long as you're breathing. If you live to 190, it's going to pay you. But if you die year 2, there's 8 more years of payments. Or if you die year 5, there's 5 more years of payments. If you die year 11, there's no no more payments for the beneficiaries. So there is no best certain period. Just remember this: annuity companies have the big buildings for a reason, right? Nod your head virtually. The smaller the period certain that you attach to the life expectancy, the higher the payment. So the less the backstop, the higher the payment. The less the guarantee, the higher the payment. So if it's life in 5, that's going to be a higher payment than if it's life in 10 or life in 20. So there is no best. And this, I'm glad you asked this. If anybody is asking, what's the best SPIA? What's the best MYGA? What's the best index annuity? What's the best DIA? There is no best. Okay? The best one is the one that we quote all carriers that provides the highest contractual guarantee for you. And it's also the best one is when you explain your situation to us and we do a customized quote to match what your goals are contractually, and then the highest contractual guarantees pop from that. That's the best one. Annuities are commodity products, period. None are better than the other. No companies are better than the other. They hate it when I say that, but it is true. These things are like a gallon of milk. They change every 7 to 10 days. We have to quote them consistently, and that's the reason the feeds that you see on my site, whether it's the calculator or the MIGA feed, those are live feeds, okay? Those are live feeds, and the only way to lock in that guarantee is to go through that application process, and that's not a sales pitch. You have to have a policy number to lock it in, period. But I'm so glad you asked that because I wanted to knock that one out of the park, and I think I did. Go ahead, next question. If I buy a 5-year MIGA and I turn 72 a year before the contract end, what happens with the RMD? Well, first of all, Barbara, if RMDs, we would be asking you, okay, you're using IRA assets, fine. Are you planning on taking required minimum distributions from this asset? And if you say yes, then we're going to match you with the highest contractual guaranteed yield that is a RMD-friendly MIGA. Now, let's talk about RMDs for a second because a lot of people get this messed up. Let's just say you have an IRA and you have a MIGA in there for $100,000, and then you have $100,000 in ETFs, $100,000 in bonds, and $100,000 in stocks, and whatever. You have all this stuff in your IRA, and you have to take required minimum distributions. Okay, you don't have to take RMDs in proportion from every single investment category. All the IRS cares about is they want their percentage, whether you take that from the MIGA or the ETFs or whatever. You can take it from one holding as long as the IRS gets that percentage and you pay taxes on it. They don't care. So don't think that just because you have a MIGA inside of an IRA that you have to take RMDs from it. Can you? Yes. If you plan on it, tell us, so we'll make sure that you have an RMD-friendly MIGA. But you don't have to. If you have stocks or bonds or ETFs or mutual funds inside of that IRA with the MIGA, then you can take that RMD from those other assets if that makes more sense to you. Next question. At what point does a non-rated company get a grade? There are a couple companies that haven't paid the money to get rated by the 4 rating services, AM Best, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. And when they're not, you're not rated by those, you're not going to show up on the Comdex score. They just have to pay for that service. Those aren't free services. These companies, AM Best, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch, the way to get the highest Comdex score is to have all 4 of them rate you. A lot of times the Comdex score might be a little bit low because they only have, say, AM Best rating them. But in this situation, if there's a non-rated company and you're looking at them, then we have to have that conversation, and I will tell you specifics about them. I do not talk about specific companies on these type of recordings, but I will talk to you one-on-one if you schedule a call with me. Next question. Stan, what is the pro and con of doing business with my current pension company? Is it advantageous for one just to roll it to Stan to get the best help versus a current pension holder? Let's talk about that. There's a lot of people, I think what you're asking, Roy, is this. If you have an offer from your company for a lifetime income stream, so they're saying you can either take the lump sum or here's the lifetime income stream for either you or you and the spouse, and they have a specific dollar amount. You need to contact us and have us run an apples to apples comparison quote. Spoiler alert, 80% of the time that we found, we don't have some stat on it, but just doing it for 3 decades, 80% of the time, the employer is going to offer a higher contractual guaranteed immediate annuity rate that they control than what I can get on the street. You can say, wait, why? Because they want to hold on to the money. Okay. I ran into one the other day where the pension offer on the immediate annuity they're offering wasn't even competitive with what I could get, all that tells me is they don't want to administrate it. They want you to take the lump sum and buy an immediate annuity. In a situation where I'm doing an apples to apples quote, and let's just say your employer is XYZ Corporation, and they had, and their quote, when we did an apples to apples quote, finished higher, and I'm going to ask you, do you feel comfortable with that company from a claims paying ability standpoint? And you say yes, then I'm going to tell you to stay where you are and take the highest contractual guarantee. I'm not a contractual hypocrite. Okay. My whole thing is you own an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do, the contractual guarantees. And if you can get the contractual guarantees higher from the pension plan that's being offered, then fine, take it, but at least have us do a comparison quote. You don't need to become a client of ours just because you want to become a client of ours. I'm going to help you and not charge any fees for that apples to apples comparison. I just want to make sure that you're getting the highest contractual guarantee, period. Next question. Looking to invest a lot in an indexed annuity. Fee is, okay, let's just stop right there, okay? Mark, when you're looking at indexed annuities with income riders, if someone is showing you one indexed annuity with an income rider, they should be ashamed of themselves. These are commodity products. If you said, Stan, I want income to start in 3 years, I want to see what an income rider pays as compared to a deferred income annuity, as compared to a MYGA to SPIA, we'll run those comparisons. But do not allow anyone to show you just one product and say, this is the best one I've looked at them all. No, that's not true. These are commodity products. And once you attach an income rider, it definitely becomes a commodity product. And we're going to quote all income riders for the highest contractual guarantee. Now, that fee you're talking about, that's for the life of the policy. My MYGA to SPIA strips out that fee. Deferred income annuity strips out that fee. So what I can do, without even looking at who you've been pitched, I can tell you that we can probably beat that number. I'm pretty sure that. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to, run it past us. But just don't buy one. Just don't look at one company. These are commodity products. I mean, this is like buying a plane ticket. So contact me. I really don't care, the company that you were pitched. We're going to quote them as well. And we're going to quote all income riders with income starting in 3 years. We're going to quote all deferred income annuities with income starting in 3 years. And then we're going to do a MYGA for 3 years, converting to immediate annuity at today's rates, and see which one's best. And then you can make an informed decision. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're not making an informed decision, and you're the sucker at the table they're looking at. Okay, here we go. Next.
That is it for questions that I have right now.
That's it. Well, I'm going to give you one more minute to put them in, or else I get to go do what I do on Saturdays. I'm not sure what that is, producer. I guess it's go back to work, but it is what it is. So, but hey, if that's it, I thank you so much for joining me. We do these once a month. You'll get the emails. You can sign up. Go to my site, use the calculators, look at the MYGA feed, look at the videos, schedule a call with me, and we'll see you next time on Annuity Man Live.